keep it vibing, because next we will have in studio, we're talking about the real storm. And if you don't know how the real storm is, sit tight, relax. There's a storm coming through, okay? Keep it locked.
Live right now, right? And I have so many questions as well. But big up to Patrick out of Jamaica that says he loved the Real Storm production and he can't get enough of her. And to South Africa, who is currently live right now and saying what? We are loving what we're hearing. So whoever don't know who the Real Storm is, stay tuned. She's going to be on in just a few minutes where you can know a little bit more about the Real Storm. Keep it locked.
I just a focus on my plan. Me want for one a little dwelling pan a little piece of land. So nobody tell me say me can't be called a ras, you know me can. This concrete jungle I'll rise from. The data treading through the land now with the rod in me. And now go do what them a do for make a shilling or a grand. Me nah sell out me sister, nah sell out me brother man. Me nah go rob, me nah go thief, me nah go scam. No, today for you, tomorrow for me. In me heart there's no jealousy. I am free, cause envy and hypocrisy could I never in a iron anatomy that I've key. Today for you, tomorrow for me. Burn every negative energy. Do good so good have to follow it. Today for you, tomorrow for me. No cut I, can't cut I in two. No matter what them do, when I need them penny. Buy a one shoes, chat and cue. The barrel full of crab after the money bag. Then we stab you in your back, then go your funeral. I know in a competition with no scallywag. Covetousness not enough in me dialogue. Whoa, today for you, tomorrow for me. In me heart there's no jealousy. I am free, cause envy and hypocrisy could I never in a iron anatomy that I've key. Today for you, tomorrow for me. Burn every negative energy. Do good so good have to follow it. Today for you, tomorrow for me. Nah, won't you take over my sorrows, protect my tomorrows. Nah, won't Cause envy and hypocrisy coulda never in a iron anatomy that half key. Today for you, tomorrow for me. On every negative energy, do good so good have to follow it. Today for you, tomorrow for me. Today for you, tomorrow for me. In a me heart, there's no jealousy. I am free. Cause envy and hypocrisy coulda never in a iron anatomy that half key. Today for you, tomorrow for me. On every negative energy, do good so good have to follow.
Yes, I tell you, we never disappoint. Here on the One-on-One Music Review Show, this is what we do. Okay? We bring the fire every single time, and I keep on saying that today's show is all the females, because I keep hearing persons that tell me they don't see no female out here. Oh, yeah, what do you mean you don't see no female out here? The females are out here working, right? And there's another set of persons that says, well, the female, and we can't listen to them song because all they want to do is skin out. Well, guess what? There are females that do not do that. Okay? And you can hear within the productions, especially from the start of this show to where we're here right now, all the productions, what they spew, the positivity, it expels exactly the positivity within the music. It exudes a certain kind of energy, and it gives you something that you do not just shelf. Yeah, you can. This is music you can listen to 10 years down the road. Okay. With that being said, we have the Real Storm currently in studio, because I see South Africa and now Zimbabwe has joined. Where it is that they're quite excited about learning more about the Real Storm and to listen to her production as well. Shout out to Gambia as well. Shout out to Aziz out of Gambia is currently clocked in. I see you. So, the Real Storm is currently in studio. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks so much for having me, sis.
Listen. I cannot get enough of your production, because it is that your song is all about, your productions are all about the truth. Your energy just exudes the positivity, not only in your presence gives that aura, but the music matches that aura as well. So, in the back, we're currently playing I Am Free. That's what I played out the gates. And the audience have gravitated towards it, and there are persons who don't know who the Real Storm is, and it's the first time they're hearing them. What do you have to say to, the audience who is currently listening that don't know about the Real Storm? You can give them, a brief of who the Real Storm is. And I don't know why they never hear about you before, because, you are all that. Go ahead.
Give thanks. First of all, I must say thank you so much to everyone who's listening, for taking time out of your schedules. I know, people's schedules tend to get a bit hectic. So thanks so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. The Real Storm is an artist from out of Spanish Town, Jamaica. I wouldn't categorize myself in any genre. I mainly focus on reggae, but I can do any genre that there is. Mm-hmm. And just from out of Spanish Town, Jamaica. My dad was also a musician on the north coast side of the island of Jamaica. Came here really to do. I currently reside in Baltimore. Mm-hmm. Came to Baltimore to further my education, because mommy and daddy always tried to deter me from the music. My dad being a musician, he knew how it was, especially for the women in the business of music. So they always try to deter me from that, to try to, make me more focus on academics and stuff like that. And I did that, but the music just wouldn't leave me alone. My
The music would not leave you alone. So you say, you know what? All right. Go ahead.
I mean, to tell you about it, the music wouldn't leave me alone, because I kind of started dabbling in it a bit, because I resided in Spanish Town, but my dad resided in St. Anne, Jamaica, Ocho Rios.
Yes.
He had a band on the North Coast. He was also a local executive for the Jamaica Federation of Musicians back then. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're in service any longer.
Okay.
But he works alongside Desi Young. A lot of people involved in the music from out of Jamaica will know that name. And dabbled in it a bit because I had a cousin who was a part of. I'm not sure if you ever heard of President Brown.
Yes.
Right. So I have a cousin who was a part of President Brown's entourage, and he introduced me to the studio. Probably about less than a year before I migrated from Jamaica, and went to the studio one day. At that time, it was a studio called Music Avenue. That President controlled there in Ocherius, because I used to go to Ocherius on summer holidays when school was on summer holidays. That time I was in high school. I attended Holy Childhood High School in Jamaica, and kind of started to fall in love with it. But the more I spoke to my dad about it, the more he got angry and stuff like that, because he didn't want me to be involved in music on that level. But because he used to sneak me out, carry me go to the studio and all the vibes, and stuff like that. There's a lot of greats in the business, such as Frankie Paul, Courtney Melody, President Brown, as I mentioned earlier, and a lot of greats in the business. But I had to migrate shortly after that to come to the US to further my studies. And in doing so, I remember one day I was driving and something went wrong with my car, and I took an agent of mine. He referred me to a garage. Took my car to the garage, owned by a Jamaican, and met an Adrian called Pluggy. And he was blasting music from out of his car. That time he was driving a convertible, and he was blasting, and that's his vibes and his energy, so he was playing an instrumental, and I start DJ to himself, but you sound good, you're an artist. So I said, no.
Yeah.
So he said, don't worry yourself, may I carry you to the studio? And that was my first introduction to the studio here in Baltimore. That was probably some 20 years ago.
Wow.
No, not 20 years, maybe some 15 years ago, I would say. But initially when I started out doing music, as a female in the business, sometimes you have a tendency to feel that the only way that you're going to gain any kind of momentum in the business is if you go to the direction of lewd lyrics, sexualized content, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because those are the people that we have seen getting the highlight.
Right.
In music.
Yeah.
So, just entering the business, I was like, okay, I forgot to write two of them lyrics here. But it just never felt right. I got a name in Baltimore by doing those lyrics. I had a few.
You there? That's okay. Go ahead. It's okay. Go ahead.
Anybody listening, please don't call me. May I the same?
Right.
So, I started out doing that, but it just never felt right, as I said. Even though I gained some attention here, I got put on quite a few shows back then and stuff like that. And I remember I lost my mom. In 2011. We were very, very close.
Yes.
And when I lost her, it forced me to grow up. It forced me to look at life differently. And Jah just set it away that in them same time there, when I go through them thing there, there was a show that was coming. There was a show that was held here in Baltimore, and the headliner was Yami Bolo, Junior Cat, Johnny Osborne, a couple of the big names in the business.
Yeah.
And I was also on the roster.
Awesome.
I remember when I went to do the show, and when I came out, just losing my mom. I lost my mom in the March of that year, and the show was that's 2011, and the show was in September. And freshly losing my mom and stuff like that, I was still kind of under meditation. So I had a song called Daddy, Where Were You?, which was written under vibes, being the child of a musician and parents separated when I was probably about 4 years old. And, it was I just wrote that song in reaching out to, women, because I try to formulate most of my lyrics towards the upliftment and motivation of women and children. That's my main. And I had a song called Daddy, Where Were You? And just singing about that, because I know a lot of young ladies go through that, having an absentee father and stuff like that.
Yes.
And when I went on stage and I started singing the song, the whole of the elder them, the whole of the veteran them in the music came out and they were like, wow. And then right that now, as I told you, I was doing raunchy lyrics. Right after that, I'm going on something named Wine Pan, the something kind sweet and it tight. Excuse me, people. Pardon me, a part of the journey.
Yes. Yeah.
So everybody went back inside.
Yeah.
And I remember when I came off a stage, one of the Rasta elder then pulled me aside and said to me, Queen, you not have to do them kind of music, yeah. Your voice is powerful and you use it for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
And then he introduced me to the teachings of Rastafari, and then I changed my name, because at first I was known as Storm, and then I changed my name to the real Storm. And then the meditation changed, so the music changed.
Okay. Well, there's no mistake there, because I tell you, your voice already is very powerful. I want to jump to one of the other tracks, and when I come back, I'll have some more questions. This time, I'll take some from our audience.
Okay.
Now hear me, Mr. D. When you reap the nana tree, can you save a bunch for me? Oh, wait, oh, wait, oh, wait. Mr. D, Mr. D. Can you save a bunch for me? In the garden, the mama planting watermelon, escallion and pumpkin. Just a little something, fi fill a gap king. Or something fi me bubble with the dumpling. But I ain't neighbor, ever a labor. Him have a farm that way big like Jamaica. Supply I with all some nice firm cassava. But him never carry any brata. The longer, me wait for the buncha, banana, ficamania, the data, arasa, no linger. Just remember the cane and a pinch of the ginger. Fi cool off me temper, him bring a bag of sweet pepper and a fat piece of renter. Must he think me a sprinter? You know yours and me want me banana. The fish a steam so I trouble, and the double, nobody fumble, just bring it something. If me no answer, the back door open. Cause this a pattern of a want for nothing. The longer, me wait for the buncha, banana, ficamania, the data, arasa, no linger. Just remember the cane and a pinch of the gym. Differently, I hope we can be friendly. The flavor that you gave, it was mucho caliente. On a Sunday or a Monday, a hot day or a cool day, me want an Anna. The longer, me wait for the buncha, banana, ficamania, the data,
Yes, I ladies and gentlemen, you cannot deny the production. You cannot deny the message within the songs that Storm is giving to you, okay? And nature in itself as well, a little bit of music as well, but as well, the naturality of the natural ways of living that is exhumed within our productions. And telling you about the real food, because it appears that, even that is not that it appears that it is part of the journey as well. The ability to go out and to ensure that what you put in your body is good food. So this is one of my favorite tracks. So Storm, this song Banana is one of my favorite tracks, and I've been playing playing it endlessly, because it is that, sometimes it is that there are various ways in which you reach people to get to spread your message across the masses. It could be in a talk,
could be through music or whatever. This is one of the songs that, highlights the great food we grew up on. Speaking of that, Tainos and the original people bringing the cassava and stuff like that. Well, for myself, I must tell my listening audience that is actually the premise of my show, which I'm going to be on a radio station in Jamaica, and that's the premise of the show. It's about the indigenous communities and the original Tainos and what they brought and revisiting the way they live, and even the food itself, which is a big part of what needs to happen within our everyday activity here. But anyway, Storm is here, so I'll make Storm tell you. Tell me about this banana song.
Well, the song it depends on how you're looking or how you're reading into it.
Yeah.
It's a bit raunchy, but
yes,
the raunchiness is right.
Me leave that to another but me never want to say it. Me don't want you to say it.
Yeah. So, it's just showing that you can do songs that are sexy, songs that are, a bit punchy, but you have to be able to disguise it in terms of so that if the youth them listen to it until they're grown, because I'm sure that like when you were younger, you heard songs and you never really get the meaning of the songs until you grew older. Then you say, but right, that him did I say?
Yeah.
That's what they were saying in the song.
Yes.
You understand? Right. So we want to be able to allow kids to be kids, and we don't want them force right, as the granny used to say back in the day. So, music now is so accessible that before it was easy to hide it from children, but now it's so accessible. It's so easy to be accessed. Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all these social media platforms are so easily accessible by the youth. And we don't want to cover the minds of the youth. We want to allow the youth to grow, and they can still enjoy our music, but they won't get a song like this. You won't get the full understanding unless you're an adult.
Well, I'm loving it. Is the song off an album, or did you just record it as a single?
No, that song was recorded as a single. It was produced by Team Gorilla Music over there in the UK, in the United Kingdom.
Okay. Well, I'm loving the song, and there's quite a few persons in the audience, or my listening audience, who actually loves the song as well, because they're reaching out to me. So Richie, out of New York, he says that yes, this is one of his favorite songs, because not only does he love the song, but he loves what you did with it, and that you are able to articulate the music and natural energy within the song as well. So yes, give thanks for that. Yes, yeah. So
man, pick up yourself, Papa, every time.
We have Brian out of Ghana that's saying yes, he stands by the message that he, everything that he has heard so far. This is his first time that he has actually heard your production, but he really loves what he's hearing, and he would like to most definitely follow you and learn more about your art as well.
Give thanks. Every time, Brian, and all of the Ghanaian massive. Every time, respect.
Yes, and of course, Zimbabwe and South Africa is live. We have, some of the authentic Rastafarians out of Cape Town who are actually clocked in and listening as well, and they're loving the vibe as well. We have Zimbabwe, who is actually doing live productions by taking pictures and videos and sending to me as I speak.
Awesome. Give thanks.
Right? I love it. And I'm glad that they're tapped in. My audience actually is, a huge portion of my audience knew that I was going to be doing an all-female oriented, show today. And usually in December, I am not doing shows, but I decided to, put myself in the fire and to give an opportunity to the listeners on what their request is. So there are various persons that were saying, we want to see more female on the show. And we want productions, that speaks volume and not necessarily about the flatness. So I put together,
We love that. We love that. And we're going to encourage the masses, them also, to keep on petitioning for the females, because we have things to say. And some of the things them that we have to say, they're important, especially for the fellow females and for the youth them. So that just keep petitioning on any radio program, any platforms you have. Want to hear more female artists. We have stuff to say too. See?
Yes, we do. They do. And as well, they need to be seen on the stages. Not only listening, but to need to be on the shows, highlighted, and show exactly their craft, just as the male artists as well. For 2023, I want to see more females up front, even opening for some of these artists. That's cool. We want to see them. We want the messages to get out there. This show has highlighted nothing but positivity within the music thus far. And every single artist that has been here, and even the ones that will come after, are available for bookings. We know we have a list of producers and promoters that are listening as well. If you need information for anybody you hear here, we have a list of producers and promoters right now that I know are listening, because I could see on my thing, out of Switzerland, Netherlands, the various countries. Hit me up, okay? Get some of these ladies on your show for next year. They will not disappoint, as you could tell. You've been listening to them, and if you love them, do reach out to me, and we'll make it happen as well. We need to see more females as well.
Yes, sir. Word sound.
I tell you every single time. Yeah. So we're coming towards the end of the year. We have, before we talk about coming towards the end of the year, one thing that I realized as well, between a few of the artists that are actually been on the show already, is I've either lost a parent or both parents as well. Myself, I lost my dad 6 years ago. This year is going to make 7 years, and he passed away on my birthday. So as I've stated earlier in the show, usually this time of year, I do not do anything because my dad was my best friend. So now that when it comes to October, that time of year, I'm just like laid back and don't, want to be in my own little world. But we need to get out of that shelling, and he's reminded me that, listen, I see you, you're doing great. Keep doing what you're doing. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I miss my father as well. I'm pretty sure, like for yourself, you lost your mom, you missed your mom. And so we do things.
I lost my dad too.
Oh, you lost both?
Both of them, yeah.
Both as well. So, for myself, it is that, oh, yes, you do. You lost both. So for myself, my mom is still available, but I miss my dad very much as well. So it is that, within our works, and even for songwriters and for singers and players of instruments, it is that what we do is exhume that energy, but, up above we know that they are watching and are saying, yes, we see you guys working. Keep the faith.
yeah.
Right now as well. Yeah. Well, Storm, as I listen to your productions, I could listen to you all day. Not only because of the positivity within the music, but because of the energy that's exhumed between each production. All right. And I will say that for everyone that actually come on this show, because I had an opportunity to go through everyone's music. I'm actually a fan of some of the artists that are on today's show. You don't have to be a fan just of the big name artists out there as well, and I really love the productions as well. Can you tell me, like, who are the persons who influence the great music that you do?
Well, first of all, I never got a chance to fall in. I have to give kudos to both my parents, who were both musically inclined. My mom, she was I grew up in the Seventh-day Adventist church, and my mom was a part of the choir, and then I cause when you grow in Jamaica, you have to go to church.
Yes.
and grew up in the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Was a part of the youth choir,
Yes.
and that's my first interaction with music. And then when I got old enough, when I got to high school and stuff like that, when I could traverse back and forth from St. Catherine, Spanish Town, St. Catherine, to St. Time to visit my father on the holidays. Then I got to know reggae music, and he was the one that made me fall in love with reggae music, because my dad was an excellent vocalist.
Yes.
A lot of the big names in music now, they pass through my dad's band, because especially on the North Coast in Jamaica, back in them times, most of the musicians, the upcoming musicians, most of them, they used to work on the hotel circuit by day and then work on the music scene by night. So, man like Jack Radix and Benji Myers and, Dean Fraser, them, and, some of the big names in music. So I would say my first person who really motivated me in terms of musically was my mom and my dad. Reggae music on a bigger level, on a bigger scale, my dad. And then I remember when I was younger, I fell in love with Tracy Chapman. I was a real fan of Tracy Chapman. I used to do some little performances at Holy Child Barbecue, and I would sing some of her songs and stuff like that. So
it's funny that you said Tracy Chapman, because when I was going through your pictures, right, I was like, why don't she give me a Tracy Chapman vibe? Did Louis tell you that? I said that to him, like, this picture right here, this is all Tracy Chapman. Did he tell you? That's quite interesting.
You never tell me, King. Yeah, keep the information from I.
I told him that. I was like, and here you go say that. I always tell people, when you talk about your influences or the person that you emulate of music, you can hear a little bit of artistry within your own production, and even the way you look or carry yourself is an extension of that artist.
Most definitely. Because I used to get that a lot when I was younger, but especially since I start growing up and them thing there, I guess it's probably the raspiness in the tone of voice, the deeper tone of voice, kind of similar and stuff like that. Yeah, man, I'm a girl, man. We love her, man. Tracy Chapman, India Ari, Erykah Badu. On the reggae scene, we used to listen to man like Eddie Fitzroy. As a matter of fact, me and Eddie Fitzroy I got the opportunity before he passed away to do Over Princess Black with him. So that's on my album that was released in 2014, titled Nostalgia. There's a collaboration with me and Eddie Fitzroy on that album doing Over Princess Black.
Wow. I tell you what, I could talk to you all day. So, of course it is for 2020. Of course, for 2023, I am most definitely going to be bringing you back. And we are going to go through your entire catalog and pick songs and play, whatever. I'm going to do a longer interview. And since I will be on other radio stations, including Jamaican station, I'm looking to bring you on for interviews when I start airing live from Jamaica in January. I know I have an audience. I can't wait. I am definitely going to bring you on for a longer interview. Yes. I'm loving it. I tell you, I am sorry that they're so short. We're going to vibe out with Ita Love, but what can you tell our audience about Ita Love before we vibe out of here?
Well, that track was produced by Gidimani Records. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Gidimani. That's perfect.
Yes.
Yes, so that was produced by Gidimani Records and House of Rhythm. It's on the Dub Club Rhythm. It was just a vibe. Just a vibe. Cause sometimes we have to really make the kingdom know. Because I believe that an integral part of a relationship is communication.
That's true.
And sometimes we have to make the kingdom know exactly how good they make us feel. You know what I mean?
That's true.
And them feel nice and things, right, Lutz?
Yeah. Yes, wow. Well, how about any shout outs and, share your social media with the audience?
Well, you can find me on You can find me on Facebook at The Real Storm. That's DA space REAL space STORM. You can find me on Instagram at The Real Storm, Twitter at The Real Storm. You can find me on TikTok, The Real Storm, LinkedIn, The Real Storm. You know, most of the social media networks you can find, I'm on there. So, yeah, you can just reach out to me and stuff like that, and we can liaison, whatever it is. And I just want to big up my Adrian Lodi, you know, for making the connect with the I Queen.
Yeah.
Yes, and just want to big up the whole crew, all of the listeners, them, see? And, you know, just encourage them for just love and just live.
Love and love live. Yes.
You know what I mean? Nobody stress life too much because guess what now? The whole of we are going to dead left it.
That's right.
We come here, come peace, and we're going to leave it right there, so.
Right, that's all. And when you go on tomorrow, they don't even remember you. That's all.
They don't even remember you. Them just get some t-shirt print with your name on it, with RIP on it, you know. And probably wear it for about a week, maybe a 2 week.
That's if you get t-shirt.
Maybe a little button.
That's if you get t-shirt. They say, oh, she dead. Or she finally got that. All of that. That's why I say, you know what? Yes. I appreciate you stopping in. I appreciate you coming through. You know, being one of the females that I highlight on today's show, to all the persons out there that are listening and would like any of the tracks that I play, reach out to me, because I will be gifting tracks by The Real Storm. And I can see already South Africa is just live, right? You want that, Storm? Tell me the song that you want, and I'll make it happen.
You know, I want to tell you a funny story. You know that a couple of weeks ago, maybe about 3 or 4 weeks ago, somebody reached out to me from South Africa, trying to collaborate on a show over there. So don't worry, South Africa, you might be seeing me next year.
Yes. Loving it. I thank you for coming through, Storm. And I'm going to be vibing to your music all weekend. I intend to have a peaceful weekend, okay? Away from all my troubles and anything that bring me trouble. And this is what I'm going to be listening to. All my females that are highlighted in today's show, I will be listening and I will be sharing across the world and telling everybody about you guys, because they're claiming that there's no music to listen to. You guys, I'm going to share it extensively. I thank you for being here.
And thank you so much for having me, Queen. The pleasure is all mine. I really appreciate it.
Blessed love.
Yes, sir.
Talking about things that we got into. You overstand all that I've been through. There's no pretending when I'm with you. Gonna love you, gonna make you mine. Don't give me the iPad, don't plug every bass in on the data line. Take my watch, I'll give you all my time. This kind of meditation's hard to find. I'm gonna love you, gonna make you mine. You consecrate me nature when you saturate my endocrine. So only you can cross I borderline. Your love is so celestial, so divine. You run every call, I run every beat. Me block them and delete. Are you alone me wanting on me personal diameter? Not to your nice and not to your neater. You're firing, not to your sweeter. I wanna be your empress, wanna be your senorita. Give me a paper, give me a lighter. Or make we blaze the pipe. You tell me you need me like some artist and you really need a writer. You are the cook with in me salsa, the mineral in me water. I know that Jaja made you, I just for me. Gonna love you, gonna make you mine. You give me the iPad, don't plug every bass in all the data line. Take my watch, I'll give you all my time. This kind of meditation's hard to find. I'm gonna love you, gonna make you mine. You consecrate me nature when you saturate my endocrine. So only you can cross my borderline. Your love is so celestial, so divine. When you hold me in your arms and then you put on the pressure, body's integrating in pleasure. You whisper in my ears and make we do this forever. Can we claim the eyes and face the load them together? I'm longing for you, are you longing for me? I see in your eyes that you want me to stay.
Yes, to my listening audience, I thank you for tapping in with me. I could not do this without you, of course, okay? So wherever you are in the world, I thank you for giving me whatever time it is that you extend to this show, okay? I appreciate it.